Fun with Failure.
Hi, this is Dallas. Thank you very much for joining me. I found 9 very funny stories for you, and I'm going to be reading those for you today, so I hope you enjoy. Sit back, relax, and here we go. I work as a dishwasher at a small diner type place. It's not a great job, but I stick around because everyone's friendly and I get free food. The cooks there like to be creative with their specials. On one particular day, the special was Oreo pancakes, which were just pancakes with crushed up Oreos cooked in. Then, they spread on what looked like Oreo cream on the top. I'm still not sure if it was the real deal or some made up concoction, but either way, I wanted some. While I was washing dishes in the kitchen, one of the chefs dropped off a bucket of kitchenware that I needed to wash. One of the items was an empty container. Caked to the side was a white substance. With food on my mind, I immediately thought, oh sweet, it's that Oreo cream. Without hesitation, I took a big fingerful and put it in my mouth. This was immediately followed with a full face cringe. As it mauled around in my mouth, I realized it was pure, uncooked bacon fat. I spat out what I could, and I spent the last 5 minutes trying to wash the taste out of my mouth. Hours later, and I can still taste the bacon fat, and I still have not acquired any of that Oreo cream. I recently took my budgie on my shoulder when I took a whiz. And for anyone who doesn't know already, a budgie is another name for a parakeet pet. I finished and turned around to leave. I then realized I didn't flush, so I turned around again. Budgie decided to fly off, but he fracked up his flight. He is a very bad and lazy flyer. His wing touches the wall and he dives right into the toilet full of pee. Luckily, his wings kept him floating while I reached out and grabbed him. I quickly ran to the bathroom and put him in the sink before he decided to shake off the pee water. I gave him a nice soap bath and a shower. You could see on his face the regret minutes after I put him back in his cage. He is fine, fortunately. This happened a while ago, but I'm still feeling the effects now. I had gotten in pretty good shape about 2 years ago. Not amazing, but fit. Then my daughter, second child, was born, and then exercise ceased. In the last 2 years, I've only worked out about twice. My wife has mentioned a few times that, with things settling down a bit, she'd be okay if I started working out again. I signed up for a gym membership and went. The routine that worked really well for me is called Strong Lift 5x5, and a key component to this routine is squats. My gym only had one squat rack, and it was being used by a guy, but the guy was friendly and amiable to taking turns for our sets. He was squatting around 135. Here's the frack up. When I was exercising regularly 2 years ago, I was squatting nearly double that. I mean, 135 doesn't seem that bad, and I don't really want to have to change the weights every time that we have to trade, so I decided to just go for it. It was a fairly easy workout, a bit tough near the end, but not bad. I get home and everything is fine. I shower and relax, but a while later I go to turn the lights off, and I collapse on my knee. I'm able to work myself up onto my feet again and laugh it off. A little while later, and I'm walking up some stairs. I fell at the top of them, unable to get back on my feet. I had to scoot to the stairs and use them to stand on, then carefully climb up the remainders. Half an hour later, I take a step down the stairs and my body just sort of collapses downwards, crushing my knee underneath myself pretty harshly. Now, I'm being pretty careful, walking up and down the stairs like a dog, keeping my hands on the walls to steady myself. Everything seems to be settling down. I put the kids to bed and go to the basement, scooting down the stairs on my butt to play some games and relax. 4 hours later, I go to climb up the stairs and I can't. I am literally unable to climb a single step. I sit and carry myself up the steps, one at a time. Now, I'm up here but I can't stand. I crawl, in a sitting position, to the footrest and pull myself onto it. I'm then able to use the nearby chair to pull myself up to my feet. I'm barely able to make it up to the bedroom. And when I lay down, I have to drag my legs into bed because I can't even lift them. I woke up feeling quite a bit better the next day, but they're still weak. Stairs are terrifying, and every time I sit or stand, it's a mess. Strangely enough, I'm really not in much pain. It's just nothing seems to work. This happened less than 30 minutes ago. I'm typing this while wrapped in a towel. Here's a bit of minor information that's required. 1. I live in an apartment that used to be a mill. The ground outside and the main door of my end of the building is not on the same level as the floor of the apartments. So you have to go up or down a half flight of stairs once you enter to get to where the elevator is, or use a short lift that goes from ground level to basement. There are 2 grocery carts that reside in the basement near the lift that many people use in the building. Number 2. My cat never wants to leave the apartment. She will head over to the door if she hears someone in the hall, but will run rather fast, considering she is fat, and hide under the bed or couch if the door opens. Number 3. My hair is long enough to touch my shoulder blades while in a ponytail, or reach my sternum when loose and pulled over the front of my shoulder. By the way, I'm a dude. Back to the story. So, the girlfriend is heading home after shopping, and calls to tell me to get one of the carts. I decided that Fuzzy Fathead needed to get a little exercise and fresh air. So I pick her up, and I carry her to the main elevator, and I hold her as the doors close. I put her down in the elevator, and I realized the area of my body where she had been was still warm. I look down, and my t-shirt is soaked from neck to navel on the left side. Because my hair was loose, it had gotten under her as I picked her up, so much of it was also wet. I put Fuzzy Fathead back into the elevator, went up, chased Fathead to the apartment, dropped the soggy shirt just inside the door, went down to put the cart in the lift to get the groceries. Then I had to take a shower. Stupid fat cat. I'm a 17-year-old boy, and like most 17-year-old dudes, I have a moderate case of acne that I constantly have to deal with. Nothing crazy, but just enough to make me have to buy cheap, anti-acne face exfoliating pads. The things work, but due to whatever is in them, they sting when they are applied, and leave a very slight lingering burning sensation. I keep these in my special hygiene shelf in my room, right next to my toothbrush, toothpaste, hair gel, and deodorant. Oh, and my hemorrhoid pads. Recently I gave myself hemorrhoids by pooping too hard, or however it is that you get hemorrhoids. It has been the worst experience of my life. You know how when you get bit by a mosquito, and you have an intense itch, and the more you scratch it, the worse it gets? Imagine that, but intensify it by 1,000%, and apply that to your butthole. The only relief that I've been able to find was to have the pads that applied to the area, as a reactive treatment for the itching. There's also a cream that you have that you're supposed to lather and put it on a mini stick thing and insert it in your butt. Here's the frack up. While doing my desk work at home, I casually reached around to scratch the itch, not thinking twice. Well, as I said, it slowly got worse and worse until I was furiously tearing at my jeans. I have never itched that bad in my life. Suddenly I remembered the pads. I sprang out of that chair, frantically unscrewing the lid, and grabbed a handful of pads. I also took the little stick thing, wanting full relief from this torture that you call my turd tunnel, using the pads to continue scratching, not only on the outside, but inside my butt. Normally, there would be a slight burning feeling, then a soothing effect takes hold, and I continue with my day, but this was not to be. You see, in my frantic scramble for relief, I had accidentally grabbed the acne exfoliating pads. My anus feels like someone had poured molten copper in and around it. It is the most painful sensation I have ever experienced. I immediately fell to the ground, screaming in pain and doing my best to find relief, to no avail. Well, all my screaming alerted my mother. She burst into my room to find me laying naked on the ground with a mini black stick sticking in my butthole while I'm screaming in pain. Last week was my hubby's 50th birthday. I decided to decorate the kitchen with some of those helium-filled mylar balloons that you get from the dollar store. He's not a very sentimental person, So after a few days, he decided they need to go. He writes our daughter's phone number on something along with a note that says, "If you find this, text me." Great experiment to see how far they get, right? He goes out into the street and lets them go. They fly directly into the transformer at the end of the power lines. Boom! Sparks fly and it sounds like a gun has gone off. We decided to leave the house and noticed some of our neighbors outside wondering what that noise was and why was the power off. It took the power company a couple of hours to come and fix it. Oops. This happened not too long ago. I'm writing this while currently in the doghouse. So, my wife and I are just finishing up a nice shared bath. We are almost ready to get out when she notices her crazy bipolar dog is sitting by the tub shaking, instead of her usual spot, which is under the bed in fear that she's going to get her own bath. My wife, being slightly paranoid, instantly thinks that something or someone must be in the bedroom. She ignores my logic that the dog is bipolar, and if there were anyone or anything in the bedroom, she would be going nuts barking. Not to mention that my husky is in the living room and would not let anyone in without doing something. Well, we get out of the tub and start to dry off. All the while my wife is eyeing the bathroom door into the bedroom, which is wide open. She finishes drying off and, as women do, she wraps the towel around herself. Now she needs to check out the bedroom. She literally gets down near the door and starts crawling towards the door. Here's where my frack up happens. She is crawling in nothing but a towel, about to peek around the door frame to the rest of the bedroom. Of course, what do standing there seeing her butt facing me holding a towel? Yep. I think a quick little pop to the butt will scare her good. Without a second thought, I let a light flick of the towel fly. Oh, but I forgot. It's not how hard you flick the towel, it's how you flick the towel. It was almost perfect, except my aim was off. Yes, in my stupidity, I not only managed to pull off the perfect snap of the towel, but I managed to perfectly center it right where you don't want anyone to hit. It literally looked like it was in slow motion. I watched it in horror, the towel popping right in my wife's nether region. I knew the look well that she gave when she turned around and rolled onto her back. I get her up and breathing normal again. Then I see the other look. I know I deserved this look. She has recovered now and sleeping soundly. There was no afterbath fun. There will likely be no fun of any kind as long as she is mad. I have no idea how many laundries or dishes I will have to do, nor do I know how many flowers or dinners it will take to make up for this. Hello, doghouse. My 8th grade class went on a field trip to an outdoors place where we had a few activities to do. Volleyball, gaga, basketball, and pool to name a few. A couple of my friends and I started to explore around. We found a little bridge that went across a small muddy stream. There were a couple of ropes that we guessed could be used to get to the other side of the creek, which was about 13 to 15 feet wide. So I thought out loud that I could maybe jump across, which my friends heard. He heard me and started encouraging me to do it, yelling, peer pressure, as a joke. The others started chiming in, and me, being the idiot that I am, started backing up. Now, keep in mind, this stream is waist high in mud, and I didn't have any change of clothes. This is where the frack up begins. I started to run, then jump, aiming for the other side. There was a split second where I didn't think I'd be able to make it, but miraculously I did. I hit the other side with my left foot and tucked and rolled, but my right foot had glanced the water. Surprised I made it. I didn't go for the shoe right away, reveling in this accomplishment. That's when I realized it. There wasn't a shoe on my right foot. I tried, along with a couple of others, to fish it out, and someone ended up stepping in, thank you for that, to try to get my shoe back. They were nice shoes. Despite the stream only being waist deep, the shoe was gone. I had to spend the rest of the day shoeless, which stunk because there were a lot of rocks on the ground. Despite losing my new shoes, which I really liked, I looked past that and I had a great time. Thanks for listening to episode 21. If you like those stories, please give it a thumbs up on the bottom and subscribe for more content. If you have a story you would like to share, please send it to funwithfailure@gmail.com and I would love to put it into a video. Until next time, fail gracefully and with a good sense of humor.